Good morning. We are starting 9.7. This is actually the last lesson of this chapter. So tomorrow when we have our Zoom meeting, we'll touch base about the project, but a few things are going to change with that. So 9.7, independent and dependent events. Key vocab: an independent event and a dependent event. Just like an independent and dependent variable, the independent variable and the independent event means that one does not affect the other. So an independent variable, your x, nothing affects the x, right? But the y, the dependent variable, the x affects the y. So independent, the outcome of the first event does not affect the outcome of the second event. So me rolling a die and then spinning a spinner, my rolling of the die does not affect the outcome of me spinning the spinner. However, the dependent event, kind of what we talked about today with the or yesterday with the permutations, it's not exactly the same thing, but the second place couldn't be, if it were 3 horses and first, second, and third place, second place horse could not be the same as the first one, so it kind of depended on that. The outcome of the first event does affect the outcome of the second event. So we only have about 4 examples, so we'll get through them fairly quickly. The first question is, keep in mind this is talking about probability because it has the word then, not permutation. If it were a permutation, it would be 2 numbers with no word in between. So probability of rolling a 6, then a red. Now when we see the word and, we think multiplication. When we see the word then, we also think multiplication. If we see the word or, that's when we think addition. So probability of 6, rolling a 6 on a number cube is 1/6, because there are 6 sides. Then, so we multiply, spinning a red. So there are 3 red, spots out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 3/8 probability of getting a red. Then we multiply, right? 3 times 1 is 3, 6 times 8 is 48. And then we need to decide if it's independent or dependent. Did the spinner depend on the number cube? No, it was totally independent. Alrighty, example 2. Probability of rolling a 5, then even. So probability of rolling a 5 on a number cube is 1/6. When we see the word then, we think multiplication. Even. So even numbers on a number cube, 2, 4, 6. So that's 3 options out of 6. So we can cross cancel, right? So 1, if we're doing this without a calculator. But 1, 2, so we get 1 over 12. Is that independent or dependent? It is independent, because rolling the number cube a second time, our chances aren't any less after rolling it the first time. Alrighty, this is our last example. It says probability of not green, red, or yellow. Okay, well, this bag 4G is 4 green, 2 red, 3 white, 1 yellow. So if it's not green, red, or yellow, well, then our only option is the white. So 3 out of 4 plus 2 plus 4 is 10. Then, so the word then means multiplication. It says red. So also what's super duper important is that it says without replacement. So when we pull out one of the white marbles, that means we're not putting it back. So total we have 10 marbles in the beginning. However, if we pull out a white marble, that means that our total has gone down to 9. So without replacing it, our total drops. However, the red, there are still 2 possible red options. So it would be 2 ninths. So we multiply straight across. It says without replacement. So is this independent or dependent? And it is dependent, because if you don't replace it, that changes the probability of the second pooling of the red. Alrighty, so your homework is pretty short, sweet, and simple. You're doing the same thing. Be sure to check my answer key before you submit it through Google Classroom, and we will touch base tomorrow at noon for our Zoom meeting. Have an awesome day.